$6,087.95 is how much money I spent on wig and weaves. And it doesn't even include the maintenance, the installs, the products, the hot comb, the tools. And that's all because I was raised to hate my hair. And that's no shade to my mom. I love her and I don't blame her. She just taught me what she was taught and what society taught her. I think I was 7 or 6 years old when I had my first perm, and I remember begging my mom to perm my hair. And she kept saying no because I had fine hair, and she told me your hair is gonna break. And that's what ended up happening. I don't know if you guys have heard the jokes of people saying if only I hadn't permed my hair as a kid, it would be down to my back or I would be a millionaire. I mean, that's a stretch, but high key, that instilled a lot of self-hate for many of us. And uprooting that can take years. And some people may not ever be able to uproot those roots or even have the desire to do so, but I did it, and I'm gonna tell you guys how. Okay, I want to start with a little disclaimer because people can be very sensitive, especially when it comes to that topic. This is not meant to bash anyone. I personally, and the key word is personally, think that it can be a problem to wear wigs and weaves when you hate your hair, when you hate yourself, which was the case for me. I'll admit it, and it wasn't easy, but God convicted me about a year and a half ago, and I just now stopped wearing weaves and wigs. But the conviction was so strong that even when I got baptized, I could not go in the water with my wig. I just knew that I could not enter the water with that thing on my head. And we've all seen the video of the girl who did, and the wig just came off when she went in the water. Like, I just knew I couldn't do it. I would say that there are generally 3 types of women when it comes to wearing your natural hair. The first one is the type of woman who will never or rarely wear her natural hair because society has ingrained in them that your hair has to be long, it has to be straight in order for you to be accepted by society. They see their hair as a way to bring value to their status. And I had seen a video of a woman who said, do this and don't do that if you want to be a classy woman. And in the do this, it was wear long dresses, be modest, wear long straight hair. And in the don't do that, it had a picture of an afro, a black woman with an afro. And what made this video even worse and sad is that the woman doing it was a black woman. But these type of women may not hate their hair, they just see it as a sign of importance. And because society teaches us that your hair has to be straight in order for you to be important, accepted, professional, they just go against their own natural self. The second type are women who have no problem showing and wearing their natural hair, but when it comes to going to a special event, best believe they're wearing that wig, they're wearing those weaves, they're wearing anything but their natural hair. And for a lot of these women, they actually love their hair, but society has still ingrained in them that in order to go to a professional event and be taken seriously or anything that's big, you have to wear your hair a certain way. The third type of women is actually how I used to be, which is the type to never wear their natural hair out. It doesn't matter what the occasion it is. It doesn't matter if you're going to the store. It doesn't matter if you're going to work. You are not wearing your natural hair. The only time that you are is in between styles and nobody's seeing you. I used to literally plan and schedule when I would get my hair down and braided on the weekend to make sure that I don't have to show up with my natural hair. And let's say I had to run somewhere quickly during that time, I would rather put a bonnet on my head than wear my natural hair. And I would say that this type has 2 subcategories. The first type is the people who just don't care for their hair. They will neglect it, and some may go as far as just shaving their head because they just want their wig to lay more flat on their head. And then the second type are people that fear man, and that was me. I just feared what society would say. I feared what people, especially at work, the amount of anxiety that I had just thinking about walking into work with my natural hair. And I'm going to insert the clip of when I first walked into work with my natural hair.
Today is December 16th, 2025, and I'm gonna wear my natural hair around people that I know, like my coworkers and stuff, for the first time. Can you tell I'm nervous? I've been getting convicted, and I'm beautifully made. I'm perfectly made by the Creator, and I shouldn't hide me. I shouldn't hide me, but today's the day. Today's the day that I take control and that I show up as whole and I show up as myself. I'm the daughter of the King of King, and he did not give me the spirit of fear, he did not give me the spirit of anxiety, and he did not give me the spirit of stress. So I rebuke all these emotions that I'm feeling right now, and I declare that I have the spirit of power, love, and sound mind. In Jesus' name, amen.
It was causing me so much anxiety that I prayed the week leading to it. I was texting my friend on my way to work. I actually was on my way to work and I went back in my apartment just to look at myself one more time and really ask myself, Emma, do you really want to do this? But I knew that I had to because the conviction was so strong, and God will never call us to do something that's for evil. It's always for good. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it feels impossible to do it, you can do all things through Christ. And it may sound dramatic that I was on the verge of a panic attack because I wear my natural hair, but it's part of my testimony. And the fact that God has been convicting me for over a year about my natural hair, and he knew that I would one day, but throughout the whole process, he was just patient with me. And I'm just so thankful because he gave me so much grace. And I do want to say that there were a few times that I did wear my natural hair out, but it was in places where I knew I was not going to run into anyone that I know from work, any friends. I kind of eased into wearing my natural hair out, starting with my friends and people that I trust and people who didn't cause me anxiety. 3 of my friends chose to wear their natural hair days and weeks before I finally decided to do it, so that definitely helped. But the fact that I was making sure that the few times that I did wear my natural hair were places where I wasn't going to run into someone, this emphasizes how much I was fearing men. The 4th type, which is finally me, is the type that just does not care. The type that will wear their natural hair at special events. It could be for a wedding, it could be for their birthday, it could be to a work event. It does not matter. They just show up as whole because they love themselves and they just don't care. But that takes strength, that takes courage, that takes going against everything that society has ingrained in you. It takes not fearing men, it takes not caring. And there are a few blessed women who did not have to learn that because society just never got to them, because their family taught them from a young age that they are loved, that they are beautiful, that their hair looks beautiful the way it is. There's this girl on TikTok who's had her locks since I think she was 3 years old. All she knows is her natural hair. Everyone in her family wears her natural hair. That's all she knows. So society, she could care less. But for the rest of us, we have to unlearn what society taught us and just learn that we are beautiful and that our hair is beautiful. And my friend said something to me. She said, God loved you before you even loved yourself. Like, when she said that to me, I was ready to cry because it's so true. I just did not love myself. But despite that, God loved me and he knew that I would. He was patient with me. And the Bible calls us to be obedient immediately. So when God convicts you to do something, you should just obey. But in that moment, I knew that I had to wear my natural hair, but I couldn't even fathom doing it. If God wanted to, he really could have had my wig just fly away when I'm at work or while I'm in school, just to force me to wear my natural hair. And I used to be so lazy with my wigs that I would just put a headband on. They were never secure. I have 2 jobs, and on the way to both, I was praying and asking God that the day is not as bad as I think it's gonna be. And the way God just turned it for good. And the day was not even bad. It was amazing. And another one of my friends said something that stuck to me. She said, people don't care about you as much as you think. She said, you're gonna wear your natural hair at work. People are gonna comment about it. They may give you a compliment, but that's not gonna be a topic of conversation. And when I showed up to work, I had a couple compliments. People were asking me questions. I wanna say, 2 or 3 people who made ignorant comments. They were not hateful comments. They were just, how people can be. But the amount of love and the amount of compliments that I was getting was just trumping everything else. And it made me feel so warm. And that day, I literally was crying. And I'll insert the clip of when I got back home. It's 10:39 and I did it. Oh, I'm so dramatic. It was not as bad as I thought. My first job. Half of the people didn't even comment on it or said anything about it, which kind of made it a little bit better. And the others were just complimenting me. I was overwhelmed by the amount of compliments that I was getting. Like, this girl just kept coming to me and she was like, Emma, I love your hair, I love your hair. And she kept telling me like, Emma, you're gorgeous, you're glowing. And I was like, guys, please stop. And then every told her, I was like, I need you to stop right now because I just can't. I'm so proud of me. I really was getting emotional during the day because it was such a good day. I was worried that it was going to be bad and I was praying that it's not as bad as I think it's going to be, but it was actually amazing. I'm going to cry later. I'm not going to cry on camera because I'm not doing this. But God is just so good and I'm just happy and I did it. He gave me the strength. He gave me everything. God is just so good. And as you can see, I have micro locks or small locks. I think they're between micro and small, but my mom actually installed them for me. Although I have learned to love my natural hair, I have type 4. Don't ask me which letter. My hair is not hard to manage. I just never learned how to take care of my hair. And I felt like I would have to do a big chop, not because my hair was damaged, but because it was so dry. What I mean by damage is heat damage. I literally just wouldn't touch my hair, but because of that, it was so dry and it would just break. But I also wanted my hair to be low maintenance or lower maintenance. And this style is what's best for me. My only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. Actually, it's not a regret because it happened when it was meant to happen. But I actually got my locks in July or June of 2025. But my hair was just getting thicker and thicker that I could no longer just hide my hair under a wig. Like, it would not fit. So I had to wear a hat because my wigs literally looked like a helmet. And I know that I said that God was being very patient with me, but he kind of pushed me out the door a bit by making my locks get thicker because I had originally planned to wait a year to a year and a half when my locks grew in length to wear them out. The one thing that I kept hearing in my head as I was on my journey to wear my natural hair was fear of man, fear of man, fear of man. Because I was fearing man, and who you fear is who you obey. God was calling me to wear my natural hair, but because I was fearing what society would say, what my coworkers at work would say, what people around me would say, I didn't. For months, I was just ignoring the conviction, and as I was getting stronger and stronger, I was delaying it. I was delaying me finally obeying God. It has now been 12 days since I decided to wear my natural hair out, and let me just say that I will never go back. It just feels so freeing and that feels so good. The fact that I can go to the gym and not worry about my lace lifting or my lace showing or having to spend 20 minutes each morning just gluing my wig. And I texted my friend the other day saying, I can't even believe that I used to do that. It hasn't even been 2 weeks, but the thought of putting a wig on right now just feels so weird. It feels so off. And I do want to say that, is there a day, one day that I could wear a wig? Maybe. Maybe one day I would want to have blonde hair and I won't want to bleach my locks, and maybe I'll want to try something new. But wigs and weaves were a problem in my life because they had become a stronghold, which is why God convicted me to just get rid of them. So I'm not saying that I will never wear a wig again, but I'm saying that I do not have that desire currently, and I don't think that we'll have it in the near future. The last thing that I want to say is that if you're fearing men and you're scared to wear your natural hair outside, at work, at school, let me tell you, if I did it, if I, someone who would never wear her natural hair, who used to wear braids in high school and would take them down in one day and wash them and then go back to the salon the next day to get braids again because I did not want people to even know what was under there. If I was able to do it with that ingrained in me, you can too.